even on political rallies, she would still maintain that level of using this word here loosely, decorum. She doesn't break away from tradition. So people are unaccustomed to a leadership like that. We prefer the leadership to have a certain fiery presence.
Yes.
She does not have that. But she does command a certain level of respect. And more importantly, a certain level of integrity. Not saying that others lack integrity, but when she speaks, people are quicker to believe her than they would another politician. There has been no scandal placed on her throughout her political career that ever stopped, that ever warranted even a police thinking about wanting to investigate it. So it comes with a fresh, new approach, and it is something that PNM at this point in time would definitely need in their rebuilding in the next 5 years.
Okay. So, when you, based on what you have seen, is that
Hello?
no, I said based on what you have seen, the expectations.
Hello?
Yes, hold on there for me. Hold on there for me, please. Hold on there for me. Yes. Hello?
Afternoon, Mr. Richard.
Can't talk to you now. I can't talk with you now. I will call you back. Jensen. Jensen, you're there? Yes. No, I was asking that based on what you have seen so far, the expectations are high. What are some of what are some of the things that you will expect? So I'm talking about changes. What are some of the changes you think will be implemented?
I expect to see the introduction of new ministries or the return of previous ministries that the PNM came and dissolved when they came into power. I expect to see, at least for the rest of the year, more accessible ministers. But that's usually a cycle. When a new government comes into power, they're very accessible to the media, and then they'll do some nonsense. The media will report on it, and they'll be upset, and all of a sudden, all the media wants to do is highlight the negative, blah blah blah, and they're very hard to reach. Then they go into opposition, they're very accessible. Come back into government, they're accessible to the first year also, and then they start posting. So we expect that in the rest of the year that the new ministers would be very accessible, very open, very willing to speak to the media. But the first sign of any negative, in their mind, negative publicity would result in withdrawing from the media's space. So many of us are grown accustomed to that. We're just waiting for the honeymoon phase to stop, be over with, and we can get on with the business of running the country.
Yes. And in terms of policies, you are expecting to see some new policies too?
Yes, based on the ministries that may come. So, one of the policies they've promised was before we started off with the guns. So we expect to see an increase in the number of firearm users license being issued, and whatever policies that would be needed to put that into place. So we expect to see that very soon. The other things, honestly, I can't say. One of the things that they promised was an increase in wages, so we're looking out for that, looking out to see whether or not they would make good on that promise, because that is a major promise that they made. So we're looking out to see that. In terms of other policies in governing the country, we expect that there would be some policies that are tethered to the United States and the way the United States deal with the rest of the world. Because whilst in opposition, the now Prime Minister would have made certain utterances that would lead us to believe that she would be more, not that the PNM was anti-Trump, but she would be more friendly in terms of accepting some of his policies.
Okay, yes. All right, well, let us see what is going to happen. Jensen, I also saw a report that that matter with the former commissioner is going to the court this month. Is that so?
Well, the judgment's supposed to come out next week in terms of a lawsuit against the institution that suspended her.
Mm-hmm.
The judgment, and that's supposed to come out in office. And there's no word yet on her extension. The previous cabinet didn't make any decision on it, and this cabinet is, as far as I'm aware, is yet to meet to discuss giving her a further extension.
Okay.
I believe that she will not be given a further extension, a one-year extension, based on all that's happened with her court matter. But she already laid the groundwork for a lawsuit should she not be given an extension.
Okay.
Especially if she is not charged.
Yes. Okay, Jensen, we have to leave it there for today, but you know, we wish the people of Trinidad all the best, and as you know, we will keep talking. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem at all. Take care.
Okay, sir. That's journalist Jensen Lavend there, keeping us abreast of what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. All right. This is Rebel Radio. Let us go for a break.
Drink come please never gonna tease her. Bang bang. You don't know so rubber dub 8 tonic wine, the finest wine. So all of the man them wanna tune into the wine here, you know. You say if you don't want to go long and strong, you just tune into rubber dub.
Cool Oasis service stations are the fastest, coolest service stations around. Drive through and buy your phone cards from Cool Biz. Yes, it's easy. No paper, no pin. From the fastest, coolest service stations. Quality fuels, lubricants, and refreshments at the lowest prices, the cleanest restrooms, and the smoothest service to make your drive even cooler. From the fastest, coolest service stations, get cool service and cool stuff fast at Cool Oasis service stations island-wide.
It's Tools Hardware and Supplies new arrival super sale. Big savings, widest selection on all new arrivals for all your home improvement needs. Beautiful tiles, sleek windows, stylish doors, sanitary ware, and top quality flooring for your bathroom, your kitchen, or living room. Tools got you covered. Don't miss it.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com. Tools!
The Lion King of
Hardware Supplies new arrival super sale. Big savings, widest selection.
no my woman, separate me from away from you, away from you. I love you, Father. Anyhow, the afflictions of the righteous, the hearts of men getting more and more vicious. Brutality is on the increase. Tell me, when the love of God sees no power on earth separate me from your love, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Father. This level of crime, only love can eradicate. We must demand justice from the church and the state, and confess to God all our evil ways, and He will give us so much better days when we show love to each and every brother. Love will return to protect mother, daughter, sister. Let's hope in our heart to those who are in need, who never receive love. Come, let's sow some seed. No power on earth to separate me from love. Love, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you.
All right, welcome back to Rebel Radio. Yes, and we are now going over to Montego Bay, the tourist capital. And we have with us the mayor of Montego Bay, Mayor Richard Vernon. Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Yes, sir. How is it in Mobe today?
Well, it is partly cloudy, but warm at the same time.
Right. Yes, yes.
It's good in Montego.
Right. So how are you facing, since taking over that position there, how are you facing the challenges in Montego Bay? How is it going?
It has been good so far. We have covered several things. Recently, we posted some of the things that we have done in the newspaper. But the challenge is some will carry on for a very long time because of the type of intervention needed, but some we're addressing. But it is a balanced approach to the development that we're taking.
Mm-hmm. So what just tell my listeners, what are some of the things that you have done or achieved since taking over the office so far?
Well, from an infrastructural standpoint, for example, in the fiscal year, and I'll speak to fiscal year 2024-2025, so from April last year to March 31st this year. And during that time, we did some major infrastructural work, including bridges, drains of roadways across the communities. We also did some community engagement through meetings leading up to the local government election in 2024. One of the main concerns was about persons not knowing their councillors. They don't know the roles and responsibilities of the local authority. So we went ahead and we did approximately 15 meetings and one city hall meeting. So the city hall meeting was specific to deal with our city limits and keeping of animals within that limits. And the other meetings were in the respective divisions, community meetings. And what we do is to get the respective state agencies and departments to partner with us and go into these communities so that the challenges that they're facing in these communities can be appropriately addressed by the respective agencies. We also invested in local economic development, which benefited some 1,175 citizens across the parish. They got business grants to fuel their small businesses. We did some conversion through our Mobile Step Up program, and the Mobile Step Up program means striving towards environmental protection and urban preservation. During that time, we removed over 200 truckloads of bulky waste from the area to reduce the likelihood of health hazard pertaining to rodent infestation, mosquito breeding sites, you name it. We recycled over 200,000 pounds of plastic bottles in an effort to protect the environment and to have a more resilient space. We invested over $23 million in youth-led climate action projects so that the youngsters could get funding for their youth clubs to do climate projects. One of them was to build a trap in the gully. I believe it was in Cornwall Courts, and they used recycled materials for the trap. One of them built a playhouse out of plastic bottles. Another one did water harvesting project. One in the Salt Spring community. Another in Malden at the school to deal with their farming. And the one in Salt Spring was to aid with the infant pool that is there and the health center. We converted dump sites into gardens. One is most notable is the one at Dome Street. That was a nasty dump site in the area, and we turned it into a garden, and it is a beautiful, flourishing garden today. We also did some social intervention program through our police department. We partnered with the Food for the Poor, and 5 families were provided with homes. 15 persons who were homeless are no longer homeless during that period through our engagement. They are gainfully employed, paying their rent, and no upstanding citizens of society, living with a certain level of integrity, and I believe that is necessary for persons who are in the homelessness category. Not just to talk about homelessness and the number of homeless persons we have, but actually a disaster that we had. We allocated billing grants to persons who were affected, and 164 persons benefited through that intervention. And we did over 2,480 educational grants for our students, and we spent approximately $500,000 to help some of the youth in the different communities the ones involved in cricket, also the Roseites Community Center. John's so the one in cricket was a John's cricket team that won the Junior Cricket League and went to a tournament overseas. We sponsored them. We also sponsored the Roseites Community Center to do some repair to the structure itself. We sponsored the under 12 netball competition to the tune of 250,000. We were title sponsors last year. We happily continued that process this year. Actually, it was this morning that I kicked off the league with them, and we're ensuring that our young ladies are properly engaged through sports. And we have also done some work in the vending sector of the city. We engage the ones in the craft markets, craft industry, and we are onboarding over 60% of them through our partnership with MasterCard. So now when you go into a craft market, you can do a one-tap from your phone to their phone, from your card to their phone, cashless transaction to do a purchase. And we realize that is where the world is going. So the most important thing is to ensure that no one is left behind, not even our vendors. So it is our responsibility to introduce these things to them and reposition them through our new approach to vending, which is to do away with anti-vending and we have replaced anti-vending programs with what we call the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, the MSME, and that's a unit that we created with Municipal Corporation to deal with that. We work with Bloomberg for the climate action project, but we also work with Bloomberg to do a data alliance project that we completed earlier this year. And this data alliance project enables us to gather data from across the city. And this one was particularly for the food vendors. So we gather data from the food vendors that will help us now to repurpose the space to facilitate the vendors who are applying their trade in food vending. So we are going to roll out our safety program in this year, and that program is guided by data, and all our programs going forward will be guided by data. So we're not doing things because we feel like, we're doing things because there was a proper assessment and the data is telling us what we need to do. You were saying something?
Yes, I was about to ask you, over the time we have seen reports about the markets in Montego Bay. Tell us about that. What has been done to improve the market?
So for the market district on Labor Day, we'll be doing some expansive work in the market district. Hello, you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, Mayor. Okay.
Yes, so we'll be doing some expansive work in the market district. I don't want to share too much details with you pertaining to that as yet. That is upcoming. And the structure itself, we'll be doing significant renovation to the structure and working with the vendors to also onboard them on the digital platform, as well as get them to operate within a conducive space. I'm not going to share too much information on that, but we have market high on our agenda. Those are primary functions of local authority, and we're dealing with that. Just as cemeteries, we did expansive work in Fire River Cemetery. The Fire River Cemetery was clean like it has never been before. And the Fire River Cemeteries are approximately 15 acres, and we cleared the entire 15 acres. We're also doing, in that space, a new approach to the identifying loved ones and that are deceased. We'll have a directory at the front, so when you enter the Fire River Cemetery, you can quickly identify the plot that you need to, or the grave that you need to visit of the person you're visiting. So some of these things, local government functions, markets, parks, cemeteries, those are the things that we do. Historical roads, drains. I don't spend much time talking about those. We try to maintain those to a certain level, keep it on par. But we are more interested in transformational things like the business improvement districts, digitizing vendors, transforming dump sites into gardens, dealing with the environment. We are trying to tap into more transformational approaches to local governance rather than to dwell too much on the things that we are expected to do on a daily basis. So what we have not done yet pertaining to our regular infrastructure, we are in the process of addressing them. I promise you that they are on our agenda, high on our agenda, and if we haven't done them to pace or to the liking of perhaps some persons, it means that we are limited financially, and that may have very well been the reason we are where we are.
Right.
We're still working.
When you talk to your mayors, your councillors, what are some of the challenges when you talk to your councillors? What are some of the challenges they are facing in their divisions?
Challenges are diverse. Communities are diverse, and as a result, it is necessary to have representation right across. So I wouldn't, for example, try to centralize at the local level the representation for these divisions, because if you go to Southern St. James, their problem might be minor water. And if you go to downtown Montego Bay, their challenge might be employment. So they are different, and that is why we have these geopolitical areas represented by different people, because their realities are different. And they come to council and lobby on behalf of their their constituents, and that is very much appreciated. But they have many different challenges coming from these areas, and once they are the responsibility of the councillors to be as innovative as possible to address these challenges that are coming. But once they can't deal with it, and they expect the council to take on the mantle of responsibility and response, then I will step in and do as best.
Do you get?
But from a holistic standpoint, we provide the opportunities for them to tap into so that they can reach out to their constituents, including the building grant, including the business grants, including the Bloomberg project for the youngsters, you name them. So all that I've mentioned, we created these things so that these councillors can tap into them to represent their people better.
Do you get complaints about water from the divisions, Mayor?
Yeah, the complaints will come. The complaints will come from Norwood. They will come from southern sections of St. James, some sections of West Central St. James. You name it. It will come from areas that are suburban to rural, and there's a reason for that. And that is why we're ensuring that we extend the services to these different communities. And that is why we're ensuring that we extend the services to these different communities to respond to the demand and the complaints that are coming. And we have done so by commissioning a major water system. That was a central government project, by the way, owned by Barrett Hall, and that will service a lot of communities, including Paisley, all the way to Dumfries and those areas. And we also have another one that will be done in the Queen of Spain Valley area that will supply the Canaan going down to Irwin, Orange, Somerton, those spaces. There's also another water project in Southern St. James. There are so many of them. So my point is this: we are halfway up with the complaints, with the challenges, and we're trying as best as possible to put things in place to remedy the problems that we're having, and to ensure that we can deliver proper service to constituents across the parish.
Okay. I see where there is some tension between you and the PNP people about political advertisements. That I think I saw this week that they have gone to court. What is happening with that, Mayor?
I don't really have any comment on that. Anybody can go to court. The court is there for due process, and if they believe that that's a necessary road to take, then by all means they should take it. I don't have any comment on the matter.
No, but what I would like to know is that the removal of the political advertisement isn't it something that is a legitimate move by the municipality? What is the issue?
That has been explained in several papers and in several interviews. I don't wish to comment any further on the matter. And it is not me, it is the council. But for some reason they believe that it is necessary to target Richard Berner and not the St. James Municipal Corporation. And if you are asking questions, so you must be aware of the process that is taking place. And I'm sure that the papers that were served, they have the St. James Municipal Corporation and not Richard Berner.
Okay, so all right. So in general speaking now, when you look at Mobay as a tourist capital, from your perspective, what would you like to see as the mayor? What are your projections?
And I'm not projecting anything. I'm telling you what we're doing. And we're doing the business improvement district to improve the experience for locals and visitors alike. And the business improvement district will be within the Jamaica Boulevard area, which is our major, or I would say our main tourism strip. And 83% of the businesses that operate within that space have given us the green light to go ahead with this BID. And we are now dealing with the legal framework for that, and you will hear much more about that soon. The confidence in Montego Bay is very high. We have wrapped up some $13 billion in investment, and this is moving up from $11 billion over the previous fiscal year, which is 2023-2024. So it is showing us a $2 billion improvement in confidence, and we are seeing applications coming in for more hotels that are going to be built along the eastern strip, coming from the Abbey Star area. Then you'll have Hard Rock and several others along that space. We have more hotels being built in the intersections of Montego Bay. Then from the western leg, you will have the Pinnacle, and within the town centers are several condo. Then we have one Reading. It is going on and on and on. So the confidence is very high in Montego Bay. You know, Montego Bay is a very good place to invest, and with that investment comes a boost in the construction industry, additional revenue, comes with a boost in property taxes, comes with a boost in employment, and all the value chains that is associated, well, everything that is associated with the value chain of this type of investment is going to increase. So Montego Bay is in a good place at the moment, and by the way, we have a 60% reduction in crime.
Yes, that is good news, Mayor.
And last year when I made the pronouncement that our target is to get it below 100 murders for this year, persons laughed as if it was a joke. And I was very disappointed with those who were laughing, because how can you not want it to go down? Imagine their reality in your head. That is unfortunate.
Yes.
Nonetheless, we are doing what we are supposed to do. And from a billing standpoint as well, most of the single-family housing applications that were processed had a turnaround time of 90 days. It means that within 90 days, we approved 97% of all those applications. So we are trying as best as possible to streamline development, not just for the huge commercials, but the residents, persons who want to add another room, who want to expand their home, you name it, who want to build up their home. So we are facilitating family as well. So we have been very strategic and efficient in our planning and development across Montego Bay. And we also ensure that in all of this, we include persons with disabilities. And during that period of time, we provided disabled access to persons who are utilizing our car parks and our public parking spaces. We ensure that there is disabled parking for them, free of charge. And pertaining to, I mentioned property tax just now, and pertaining to that, we finished first among the municipal corporations across Jamaica, by collecting over the target. We collected about 103% of our target. We are the only one that went over the 100% target. The others are about 90, 80s, somewhere thereabouts, and this represents a $1.3 billion collection in our property taxes, compared to a forecasted $1.27 billion. And this represents also our efforts to strengthen the relationship between the municipal corporation and the communities. And we commend the communities for falling in line and for supporting our initiatives. When we call on them and work out the ways in which they could pay their property taxes easier, they supported us, and that is why we are so successful with our property taxes. And we intend to move from strength to strength where that is concerned. And of course, I must commend the Tax Office Administration of Jamaica. They have been very good in terms of the communication, in collaborating and corroborating all the information that we have given them and how we can go about getting compliance in the property tax. So this will enable us to do much more, and we're looking forward for the positive returns on this public investment. So yeah, and by the way, I must mention that for